Hello, everybody, and welcome to Behind the Eight Ball. Today will be another video. This will be a little different than my last one because it's not um, inherently related to MGTOW, but it'll I'll make the connection sort of on down the line. Anyway, today's topic is about the what I would call the war of the words. How the how feminists and culture has turned honesty into hate speech. So, uh, the trigger that, well, I've been thinking about this for years, but one particular um, Facebook post that somebody I know posted, and it had to do with, it was a picture of a screenshot of a man's, no, excuse me, a woman's Twitter account, and it was a picture of a morbidly obese African American woman in this sort of this light bluish dress. And the controversy was that some man had posted that something to the effect that, people were lying to her that she's overweight and that her friends are lying to her saying that she's beautiful and whatnot. And the backlash from this guy's comments was just shocking because, I don't know how much she weighed, this woman. I have no idea. I couldn't really tell how tall she was, but she was clearly morbidly obese. So I'm thinking for her, 250 pounds or more. Especially below the waist, you could see her legs were just huge. I mean, she was just a very large woman, like probably 100 pounds overweight, maybe a little more. And people were posting things in defense of this woman, like you're beautiful and you're, the big BBW nonsense, and saying how beautiful she was and that she's curvy. Let me spell something out for you. If you don't already know, women use the word curvy to mean anything anymore, right? Like anything is curvy. Anything except the Barbie doll, you're curvy. So that could mean you're 15 pounds overweight, or it could mean 100 pounds, right? Curvy. Like go to Craigslist and read some of the posts. It's ridiculous. Everything's curvy. That's just code word, guys, for she's fat, and sometimes really fat. So the reason I call this the war of the words, you can read the description below, talking about how this guy was honest. Like, I don't think she was a hideous looking woman, but she was clearly morbidly obese. She is not healthy. And unfortunately, the way the world works in America now is if you're honest about that and you say it straightforward, it's hate speech, or you're a bigot, or something to that effect. You're hating on larger women. And it's disgusting how you can't be honest anymore. Now, I'm not saying she's a terrible person or anybody who's that overweight is a bad person. That's not the point. The point is you're not healthy. And sometimes the responses from women or white knights ends up being, well, you just want a Barbie doll, right? You guys, guys and girls have heard that for you. You just want a Barbie doll. That's bullshit. Because what most men find attractive is perfectly average women, right? Medically average women, like women who are in the normal body. That's normal, right? We're not looking for a Barbie doll with a zero waist. Most men find average women attractive. Average meaning biologically they're kind of where they're supposed to be. That's what that means. So it automatically goes to you just want a Barbie doll and you're a hater. Words to that effect. And that pisses me off because you can't be honest with people anymore, And it's almost like, well, first of all, it's not, this is all part of the self-esteem movement, first and foremost. And what that does is it teaches women, mostly women, that if you're 500 pounds, you're beautiful. No, you won't die of a heart attack at 40 years old. You're gorgeous. So it gives women, honestly, a reason to be lazy. Because the world teaches them that fat is good, fat is okay. And it's not, because I know that, and I don't know how old this woman was in this Twitter thing. I don't know how old she was, but she's probably in her 20s or something. Early to mid 20s. I don't really know, but I know in 15 to 20 years, she's going to be dealing with the consequences and the complications of diabetes, heart disease, and she'll look back on her life and think, "Where did I go wrong?" Well, she's young enough to where she can do something about her health, but she won't because the world has deluded these people into thinking that they're healthy, and they're not. It's just, and this pisses me off too because men are not given the same message that women are. Let me state that frankly. If you're a big guy, like a man who's equally overweight as she is, you're not going to be treated the same way. You are worth shit in this culture. If you're an overweight man, you're worth nothing, right? You're not. Nobody ever tells a severely overweight guy, "You're big and handsome. You're a big, beautiful man." Like, right? We don't talk like that because that's not the same thing. Women can do basically anything they want without consequences, and society will call them beautiful, but a man is not treated the same way and never will be. So, and this has been years of this shit pisses me off because, I'm not saying these people are bad people. You're not, the reason a lot of men don't find that attractive is because it's not biologically pleasing to us. Average is healthy. Healthy means babies. It's all genetic. So, how does this relate to MGTOW? Well, this has created a culture and a generation of women whose ego is outrageous. Especially women like this that think they're worth $1 million. And even the young women now who are not attractive and historically would not be attractive to men, even they have huge egos now because of this kind of war of words where you're honest with somebody about their body and it's hate speech. So the world has kind of backed off and said, you know what, you can be fat and sexy and all that. So women grow up lazy and thinking that this is okay. And if a man doesn't find a really overweight woman attractive, there's something wrong with the man, right? It's not her. It's not the fact that she's 300 pounds and 5'8", all right? It's the man's fault. It's the world's fault. So it makes dating really difficult for millennials, young guys in their 20s like me. So it gives these women an ego that is ridiculous, and it makes them okay with being lazy because they'll get men anyway. So so even the attractive women, the healthy women that most men would be attracted to, they have egos. The fat women have egos, and it gives women an excuse to have massively overrated egos and views of themselves. Whereas a fat guy, he knows his place. He knows society doesn't give a shit about a fat guy. We're not going out of our way to make men feel better if they're fat. Unless you're like an athlete or something, you'll get women. But if you're a really overweight guy, this world doesn't give a fuck about you. Come on, it's all BBW, big beautiful woman. I am sick of hearing that. Ugh, and that word curvy is used for pretty much anything. Sorry, I took a sip of coffee. Anyway, so some of you may have seen this picture. It's been around Facebook and Twitter, I'm sure. But, this person is medically, morbidly obese and not very attractive. Yet the world wants to tell me that that's my problem, right? That there's nothing wrong with her. It's all me and the guys that do not find that attractive. To give you, if you haven't seen it or you can't see it, her legs are huge, man. You can't even see her knees anymore. That's how big this person is. So it's just disappointing how being a young guy trying to meet women is such a challenge because of this kind of feminist rhetoric about big beautiful woman, which has leaked into the culture to where you can't even be honest anymore. And it's the man's fault that he doesn't find a big woman attractive. Have you ever guys read these Facebook posts where it's like in the description, the dating ad, the personal ads, I mean, where it says body curvy or body BBW in the body of the what they're saying. It's it's always like, if you can't handle a big beautiful woman, then walk away. Nice attitude, right? And it's always so, again, it's your fault that you're not attracted to fat women. Like, it's your fault. They have no part in it. And most men, what they're looking for is perfectly average women. Not even really petite women, just normal. I think normal for women is what, 25% body fat, something like that. So that's not like unreasonable. It's just that there are so many fat women in America. That's what we get. And I'm not, I'd rather be single than lower my standards and date some woman who's disgusting. And you know what curvy means? It's not a blob. It is definable curves and not a blob of fat. That's not what curvy means. It's not what it's supposed to mean. They just use that to mean anything that isn't normal. And like I said, it makes dating really tough because the women who are below average, they just have such egos and they want so much from men. It's like, who are you after? They all want to date millionaires, and they all think they're worth the world. And when we, as men, don't find them attractive because they're maybe bigger, it's our fault, right? It's not their fault for not taking care of themselves, which is not an unreasonable request from women. I mean, my God. And it's funny because a lot of these women, these bigger women, they don't want to date a bigger guy. Isn't that outrageous, right? They want the slim, athletic, or the guy with, the big muscles or whatever they find attractive. They don't want a big guy. It's just ridiculous how the view of themselves that they have. And this is something that's been eating at me for years. It's this big beautiful woman is getting ridiculous. I mean, stop saying that. What it's saying is, it's not the woman's fault for being lazy. It's the man's fault for not finding her attractive and sexy. I just don't find that attractive. Super fat women. But I've had, I don't know, 50 pounds or more overweight. I just don't find that attractive. I just want a normal, average built woman. But, it's always, oh, you just want a Barbie. No, bullshit. We want regular women. But the trouble is, the way the culture works now, it gives overweight women a voice, especially the internet and things like Craigslist, Tinder. It really gives them an outlet, and they get attention. So it justifies their being lazy, frankly. And most people who are overweight aren't overweight because they have a glandular issue. It's because they're lazy and they've formed bad habits over the course of their life. That's all it is. So if you guys have experience with this, comment below and let me know what you think. This is just my opinion. If you don't like it, I don't give a shit. This is just what I observe. Thank you for listening, and tune in for more videos. Thanks.